In the past 60 days, there's been a massive surge of Prizm Silver NFT sales on the Panini blockchain, and we're not talking just a little bump either. We're talking things have gone vertical. So let's take this doozy for example. This is the LeBron James 2024 Silver Prizm NFT. Yes, the infamous chalk toss card. Just 60 days ago, this was routinely selling for $7. Today, it's routinely selling for around $300. In just 60 short days, that is a 4,000% increase. And while this is definitely the most extreme case, it is not the only one. Take the Victor Wembanyama 2023 Prizm Silver rookie card NFT, for example. Just 60 days ago, this was trading around $90. Today, it's routinely selling for $250 to $300. And the Caitlin Clark Prizm Silver rookie card, well, again, 60 days ago, this was trading for around $90, $95. Today, the most recent one just sold for $325. All of this is pretty spectacular, but honestly, to me, it's not the crazy part. The crazy part is what's happening, or not happening, with the parallels. See, while the silvers are definitely running the show, the more scarce parallels, like the purples, the oranges, the red shimmers, the blue shimmers, all of those don't seem to be keeping up. And to me, it's a little bit of a head scratcher. And I understand the history and the popularity of the silver parallel within the hobby. I do, but at some point, you just have to take a look at the data and say, you know what, today is the day we're diving in. So here we are live with the LeBron James Silver Prizm Chalk Toss NFT that we've been talking about at a 424. And as you can see, the most recent sale was $300. So let's bring in the parallels. The first parallel up is at a 207. It is the blue seismic, and the recent sale was $140. So you can already see where I'm going with this. It's twice as scarce, and it's selling for less than half the price. The next up is out of 99 red power, recently sold for $320. And then the out of 49 orange wave recently sold for $350. So the silver is really competing with the out of 99, the out of 49. There's a massive drop off when it comes to the second parallel line, which is the blue seismic. And the reason I'm doing this video is because in my brain, I'm kind of thinking to myself, is the silver telling us where the blue seismic price is headed at some point? It's kind of lagging. There's so much focus on the silver. I'm not saying that blue seismic, just because it's more scarce, ever has to surpass the silver, but selling for less than half of what the silver does, to me, at least in my brain, it doesn't necessarily make sense. It almost makes me think the silver showing us where this is going at some point in the coming weeks or months. So it seems as long as the silver can hold the price around the 300, to me, it seems like a pretty good investment or a pretty good choice to kind of go against the grain and maybe jump in on one of those rather than the silver. I could be wrong. But then we have the out of 35 blue shimmer that recently sold for $510. And that's where you just start to see the separation of price outside of the silver range of $300 all the way down to out of 35. That's how strong the silvers have been selling. So let's go to the next card, which is the Caitlin Clark Prizm Silver rookie card. See if we see anything different. Let's bring in the parallels. The most recent sale of this NFT was $325. The next parallel in line is out of 167, the purple, and that recently sold for $140. Again, almost identical to the LeBron James Chalk Toss NFT, but this is even a little more dramatic. Then the out of 99 orange recently sold for $225. That's a head scratcher. The out of 49 teal sold for $400. Okay, we're starting to see the bump. And then the out of 25 mojo sold for $925. And aesthetically, I have a newfound respect for the mojo. It does look like an upgraded version of the silver. So even having that jump up from the out of 49 to the out of 25 mojo, I understand that. It is more scarce, and aesthetically, it's way more pleasing. So I understand that. But the purple to me is not aesthetically pleasing, and it is twice as scarce. Again, is the silver at 325 telling us where the purple might be headed? So again, while everyone is focused on the silver, everyone's looking at the silver, is this a good time to kind of creep in and maybe grab the next parallel line, which is the purples, and just naturally that kind of has to have like the next wave up to get close to the silver? I don't know, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. But let's go on to the next card, which is the Wemby Silver rookie card. Now, this says base. We'll call it a silver. This is out of 424. The most recent sale, $250. Let's bring in the parallels. The first parallel is out of 211, the blue ice, and it recently sold for $300. Okay. All right. The next parallel out of 110, the ruby wave, sold for $425. Okay. All right. And then the next one, the out of 25 mojo, $2,400. Again, I understand the price increase with those particular ones at the out of 20, just like the Nebula. The Nebula is a huge collector's item. It demands a higher price point, but they're all very scarce. So when you get into that kind of wheelhouse, it all makes sense. But to me, again, the blue ice to me doesn't even have to trade higher than the silver, because I know the silver is coveted with collectors. I know the history about it. But again, I can't say that this doesn't make sense to me, at least how my brain works. Again, the blue ice is trading for more, even if it was trading for the same as silver. That's kind of my point with the other two examples we had. Is that second parallel, is the silver telling us where that second parallel price is headed? So now may be a great time to go against the grain and buy the parallel no one's looking at. But I thought, okay, maybe the last two examples were outliers. And usually, and more of them are like the Wemby rookie card. So I thought, take a look at the Wemby 2024 Silver Prizm to see if that kind of falls in line with his rookie card, or if we're back to where we were with the Caitlin Clark and the LeBron. So as we can see here, again, this is the Silver Prizm out of 424. The most recent price was $45. Let's bring in the parallels. The first parallel, as we know, is the out of 207 blue seismic. The most recent sale was $20. No, we're back. The Wemby rookie card did nothing to clear this up for me. We're back to where we were with the Caitlin Clark and LeBron James chalk toss. We're back to less than half for twice the scarcity for a parallel that doesn't even look bad to me, but teach their own. Out of 99 red power sold for $32. The out of 49 orange wave sold for $66. So a little bump up. But again, it was a singular sale. So it might have just been, a sale that someone bought it now. I don't know exactly. I didn't have a lot of sales to compare it with, but again, makes sense. It should be a little more. And then the out of 35 blue shimmer sold for $150, which again is similar to the bump up that we saw with the LeBron James, but we're back to focusing on that second parallel below the silver, selling for less than half. It's almost identical to the first two examples that we saw. So again, is that silver telling us where this blue seismic Wemby second year 2024 Prizm is going? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about this. That's kind of what's been catching my eye. Let me know in the comments below what you think about what I'm saying, or if you just think the silvers are that coveted by collectors that they're already scarce enough, which they are. I mean, out of 424 for a global circulation is already scarce. So if the collectors do in fact want the silver and they covet it that much more, I could see why it would routinely stay that much higher than the second parallel. That could be kind of whatever. I guess there's so many parallels in the physical world. What they chose to use on the Panini blockchain might be insignificant because people just want to collect that silver. That could be it too. But I need your help with this. Let me know what you think of what I'm saying. Is there any validity to it? Or are you in the camp of the silver? If so, drop a comment below. Help us out. Help all the collectors out watching this to kind of get a framework on exactly what we're looking at. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.